When I was 6 years old, I was as tall as the bottom of the bulletin board you see in the hallway, and I did the typical things every sixth grade girl did: gymnastics, dance, and lacrosse. Dance was easily my favorite because even though I wasn't that good, I loved making dances in my room with my sister. I was in ballet class with my best friend Brianna, and we were easily the smallest girls. And Brianna was different than me, even though we were best friends. She could get up in front of our whole class of about 12 girls and tell a story about what she did the day before or what happened to her brother that day. And that's how we started every class, talking, and then we moved into stretching. Our stretching consisted of doing the butterfly legs and our teacher asking us, where are we going today, where are we flying? I want to go to Aruba, I want to go to Puerto Rico, I want to go to Disneyland. Bridget, where do you want to go? Bridget? My teacher looked past the circle to see me with my head buried in my knees in the back of the classroom behind the beams. She picked me up, put me in the circle, and then I realized, why didn't I just say I wanted to go to Aruba like every other generic answer? And there's a reason for that. It's because I was an introvert and Brianna was an extrovert. An extrovert is just described as an outgoing or gregarious person. And an introvert, little 6-year-old me, is described as a shy person. Very good definition, dictionary.com. And I heard this word a lot in my 6th grade debate class when I got comments on my report card saying, has good ideas, but shy or quiet, and needs to participate more. And in that class, we did a lot of arguments and a lot of debates. I remember the worst part was when we had to read aloud about the structures of good debates. And it wasn't because the articles were boring, but it was because of the reading aloud. Bridget, do you want to read this page today? Oh no, not in a million years. I do not want to read. I'm going to open my mouth and nothing's going to come out. But of course, I can't say no to my teacher. So I said, sure. I put my finger on the page and followed my words, and I didn't even notice that my face was the color of a tomato and no one else did. And I realized after that it wasn't that bad, and my teacher pushed me, and it was the first step of coming outside of my comfort zone. In small portions, of course, it was fine. Fast forward to last summer, I applied for a counselor and training job at the camp I've been going to for the past 9 years. But I wasn't really nervous because it wasn't as bad as the role that the counselors had to fill and as intense. So much for small portions. I had to become the most outgoing, bubbly leader that I could possibly put on because these little 8-year-olds were homesick and shy and needed someone to be there for them. After a while, it just became second nature to me. That was me, bubbly, outgoing, and a leader. And before my eyes, I was packing up my stuff and saying goodbye to the little 8-year-olds and my best friends that I had just spent the whole month with. I thought, wow, this new persona is over. Do you know who Eleanor Roosevelt is? What if I told you that she was an introvert? She was terrified of public speaking, but she was in the presidential eye for 4 terms. She made speeches and she practiced and practiced every single one until it just became her thing. I don't know if I could do that, but I was still eager to do more because I was on a public speaking high when I got an email on August 21st by a lady named Somi in my church, and it was actually about becoming a retreat leader. I emailed, "Hi Somi, I want to become a leader this year." Not even 4 hours later, I got an email back, "You're in," with the meeting and retreat dates to follow. And at these retreats, we give talks about the first steps of the confirmation process. I volunteered to do the first talk at our first retreat, way out of my comfort zone. But I practiced and practiced in front of my stuffed animals, my family, and my friends, and my retreat group. And at 4 o'clock, the retreat started, and 4:10, I got up, and I was told, "Bridget, you're up." My thoughts of anxiety and fear were running through my mind like a marathon runner. But I got up, and it flowed out perfectly. It was a little fake it till you make it, but it's okay, because I got up and I did it. The University of California did a study where they asked 123 people who were classified as introverts to be extroverts for a week. And at the end, they reported no negative side effects. They were genuinely happy with putting themselves out there, even though it was a little uncomfortable and awkward for them at first. Jessica Pan shared a story similar to my 6th grade class story when she went to a therapist and the therapist told her to ask random people on the street, "Excuse me, I just forgot. Is there a Queen of England? And if so, what is her name? She was hesitant at first, just like I was to read. But after a while, she tried, and she wasn't successful sometimes, but that's okay, because it's all about humiliating yourself. And I took a similar approach and asked my own questions in a Google form. I asked, do you think it's better to be an introvert or an extrovert, or why? And why? I got some really good answers, like, I don't know what that means, or I don't know. But I also got an answer like, it's better to be an extrovert because you can express your ideas freely and speak whenever you want. And that's where I disagree. You know who Charles Darwin is, right? Big contributor to evolution and a world-known scientist. What if I told you he was also an introvert? He waited 34 years to publish his work about evolution because he was afraid of being criticized and judged. But he published it, and it changed the world. I don't know why I got the responses I did, and I still don't know the answer to that question. But I do know that being an introvert, you can still get up and present and do everything that an extrovert can. With a little fake it till you make it, but it's okay, because that's all about putting yourself out there. Okay, you can clap now. Thank you.